Hello everyone, I am doing another tutorial today. So you get two tutorials in one day because these are simple things, 5-10 minutes and it's done. Maybe this might take a few minutes extra than the jacket that I just did. But anyhow, the same pattern. Where did I put that pattern? But anyhow, it's the Kwik sew pattern. Here it is. It's the Kwik sew pattern, and I'm doing this poncho right here. And it's Kwik sew 3091. And these things are so easy to do. I love doing these ponchos. And again, I have done several of these because I'm getting ready for the craft fair this next month. And so I'm going to be showing the different colors and things that I've made of these ponchos and jackets. But anyhow, let's go ahead and get started because I don't want this to be too long of a video, just long enough to show you how to do this. Alright, and then I also have some tricks that I've figured out about this too to make it a little bit easier. I'm going to go ahead and bring you down. And here's the pattern right here. One pattern piece is all you need for this, and it's number 10. You cut out 2, and it's going to look like this. Alright, so you want to make sure with this pattern, really make sure you get it on the stretch of the fabric. And how you can figure out the stretch of the fabric is by, let me see if I can't get this to stay up, by pulling on it. So here's the stretch of the fabric. See how that stretches? But then look at this end here. It doesn't stretch at all. Look at that. There's no stretch. But here's the stretching part of it right there. So you know that's how you're supposed to line it up. So you don't have to put it on the fold or anything. It does have notches, but I don't worry too much about the notches because you're just lining up the two pieces right sides together. But before you get started, the first thing you have to do is you have to make a stitching line, which is this piece right here. And I have folded this up. I have made my stitching line to go across, which I will do on this side. But then I have another way that I was doing it too. But see, I just folded on the lines. And I made my stitching lines right there, so I have something to follow by. But then there's another way you can do it. Bring this up like that. Okay, and I get my ruler. Let me undo this. Okay, I get my ruler and, well, let me try this again. And you can you, I hope you can see this. This point here to this point here. Okay, so what I do is I go ahead, I'm going to turn it around this way because I think you can still see it pretty good. But you get your ruler and you line it up with one point and you bring it over to this other point and you can make a line that way. Just like that. So there's two ways that you can make your lines. If it's easier one way or the other, then take off your, oh, and I almost forgot to tell you another thing about this pattern. You're going to see up here it says slip mark on front. You only want to take, see, you've got two pieces of fabric here. You only want to take the top piece and make that slit going down because that's going to be your front. So one's going to be for your back and one's going to be for your front. Almost forgot to tell you that. Now, for this, I do use my clips so I can keep my fabric from shifting around. And I'm using my walking foot. Alright, so the first thing you want to do, whoops, I almost forgot to make my lines on this one here. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. I'm trying to rush this video so it's not too long. Okay. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is you want to take your one of your pieces, it doesn't matter which one, and you want to get your line that you just made on it evened with the needle. So the needle's going to be going down here. Now you can probably see better. Let me zoom you in just a little bit. Alright, so here's your marking line that you just did. You want the needle to be right there centered. Okay. And you don't have to worry about back stitches on this. But don't stretch your fabric, just very gently hold on to your fabric. Okay. Then you want to turn it around this way. Same thing again. Now on this walking foot, it has a red line here in the middle. And you want to match up that red line to go with your marking line, because that's where the needle is. The needle is exactly in the middle of that line. And I used a friction pin to do this with, and if you use your iron, it does come right off. And I will show you that. Alright, now you want to do your other one. Okay, now I'm going to bring you over to the ironing board. Getting my iron hot. Alright, so now, those lines that you just made, if you used your friction pin, get your iron and just go over it. And all those markings come out. I tell you what, whoever invented this friction pin was really smart, especially for people that sew. I don't know if that's the reason behind that they made the pin, but I tell you what, it's a great invention. Alright. See, it doesn't take but just a second to get all the markings off. And look at that. The markings are gone. And I used black ink. Alright, so now the next thing you want to do, let me bring you back over my way. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is you want to make the fringe. So get your scissors, get one piece, and I'm going to see if I can do this so you can see. Alright, now you've got your stitching line right here. You want to make your fringe. Don't go up on the stitching line, but close to it, and make your fringe about, I'd say maybe a ½ inch to an inch apart. And that's all you do. I'm going to do this one side here, and I'm going to do the others off the camera. I think this is the most tedious part of the whole piece, is doing these fringes. I think that's what takes the longest. Because you're trying to be careful not to cut into that stitching line. And I'm just eyeballing. That's all I'm doing. If they're not perfect, that's okay. Okay, but anyhow, I did one side, and that's what the fringe is supposed to look like. I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to finish the rest of it. Okay, I have already pinned up one side of the poncho, and you want to start at the neck and go all the way down to your stitching and make sure that it's all evened. You want to make sure your stitching lines match up on both the front and the back pieces. Alright, so I'm going to show you what I did. I smooth everything out. Make sure it's nice and smooth before I go any further. And I'm using my clips. So what I'm doing is I'm starting up at the neck here and make sure that I get everything evened. Okay, now I'm going to bring you to the machine. Alright. And I'm still using my walking foot. So what you want to do is you want to start up at the neck. You want to make sure you have this edge of the presser foot up against the edge of the fabric here. So then I do a back stitch. And go kind of slow around these curves because there's a curve right here you're getting ready to go around. Alright, now we're getting to the end where your stitching line is. And then I want to back up to make sure I lock it in good. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, cut your threads. Oh, there it is. Okay, you're almost done. Now, this is not called for in the pattern instructions, but I do it anyhow. I'm going to take some of this bulk off. So you want to get about an 1/8 inch away from your seam line. And I always like to start at the neck. And then I curve my scissors over this way, and I just follow that seam. Go around the curve, and it goes straight down. Alright, whoops, let me cut this piece off here, it didn't cut right, there we go. Alright, now we're going to do the other side. So I'm going to start at the neck, go down and curve my scissors. And there you go. All right, now you want to turn it right side out. And you're done. Look at that. You've got yourself a little poncho for your 18-inch doll, for your daughters or your granddaughters. Okay, well, you have a good day or good night whenever you're watching this. Please subscribe, click the like channel, and leave comments and questions. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.